I was the only player in the second division in the national team. Why I was playing every game? Because at 15, 16, I was doing exactly what the coach was asking me to do. Players, they want their own things, their own football. I understand they have their own quality. You gotta play your strengths, but you gotta use your strengths applied to what the coach asks.
The level of Division 1 soccer is just insane, especially the top schools,
Yeah.
like the level of play that they're bringing. Then
The American players need to see other environments, have harder life, for 2-3 years, where play another type of football. I need to play with guys that are 10 years older than me. But those type of experiences are the ones that they make you improve. Don't be scared of big goals, higher objective in your life, but also take a look at your mirror and say, okay, right now I'm in this situation, and the next step to get to the big goal is this one.
So Matteo, I'm reading our text message conversation, and in the last few months you've been in Belgium, Italy, France, England, Poland, Germany, Portugal and Japan. What stood out to you the most?
First of all, nice to see you again, Sam. I traveled a lot recently. It was amazing. All these countries have something different, but if I have to tell you the highest level I've seen, probably Germany. And other than that, I would say a different type of football, Japan. But all of these countries bring something different and different characteristics in the players.
So when you're going to these places, because I know we just talked a bit off camera, like you were going specifically to watch one player, because usually when coaches are traveling, they're going to a showcase,
Correct.
watching players. Like someone will listen to that and be like, oh my God, you went to all these different countries. Like what's the process from you being like, okay, I'm going to pick this country? Like why did you choose those countries? Why are you going there?
Yeah, perfect. Good question. Most of the time we have players that we already know. We receive their profiles maybe directly from the player or from agents, and we want to go make sure like what we see on video it match also in real person. We highly value watching players in real person, live. I think it makes a huge difference in the recruiting process to reduce the mistakes, the errors, in Europe I went to see players that I already had a contact with, so I went to watch directly the games with their clubs. Other times, like in Japan, the agencies invite us to participate to the showcase, and we say, okay, that showcase is worth going, and we go.
How do you go how do you go to like so many different countries? Like you personally traveling, how do you manage your schedule? How do you manage like being organized?
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. But our schedule of the season is from August to December, right? After that, we have December that is pretty much free to do whatever we think is best for our team. So we are 3 in the staff, and I am the guy that goes mostly fly and see the players, right? So December is a good time to go. Then we start very early the spring season. So the first week of January we are already with the team, but also we finish very early. So around mid-March we are done with our 5 games that we have to schedule in the spring. And then so after mid-March it's like pretty much free to go again for the recruits and travels and expand more our knowledge about some players.
Between those countries like Europe and Asia, and obviously you're coaching in America, like what do you see are the differences in cultures between all of those countries and all of those places? Because football is like a universal language, but it feels completely different in different places. So
Yeah.
for you when you were traveling, like, because obviously you grew up in Italy playing, you came to America, but now being to all these different places, like what have you learned about football culture?
No, it's so different in every country, even in Europe. Within Europe, like if you see a big difference between Poland football and Portugal football.
Why?
Because Poland, for example, is very like direct, physical, and Portugal is a little bit more based on qualities and play on the ground. They try to value more like wingers or like technical players. They can go 1v1. Not that in Poland they don't do it, but you have overall, even in Germany, we have like overall bigger guys, stronger physically, very good organization. In Germany. So there is a difference within Europe, but obviously the biggest difference is like when I went to Japan, it's like completely different type of football. They all have the same mentality. They play kind of all the same way. Very technical, shifty, work hard. But obviously there is also some downsides. For example, they're a little bit less direct. Sometimes they don't find goals or they don't defend very properly or very hard, So every country has pros and cons, and it's very nice to find players that can help our team based also what they learn in their country,
So I'm looking here at the countries you've been to. So like Belgium, Italy, France, England, Poland, Germany, Portugal, Japan. and I'm missing on this list, like, why didn't you go to Italy? Why didn't you go to Brazil, Argentina? Why those countries and not other countries that might be bigger?
No, Italy I went. I go very often. But Brazil, Argentina, it's a plan. We want to go there. We want to expand FIU, like our brand everywhere. We want to make sure we have more connection with more agencies. So it's like a working process, you know. We are definitely going to explore the South America football. We're definitely going to explore Africa as well. The Caribbean, I want to go way more because still like Jamaica, you can have players there. So it's definitely a plan step by step to expand to those countries.
So when you're going on these trips and trying to find players, or you're already watching a player that you like, what are you looking for that would make you be like, yes, I'm going to bring him to FIU? Like, obviously it's different for a striker than for a centre-back, for a full-back. But what are you kind of looking for? Let's be very specific and say that you need a striker that's going to score goals or do whatever.
Yeah.
When you're going and you're finding a striker, what will make you personally in FIU be like, okay, I'm going to sign him?
Yeah, first of all, like I want to see if what he's doing right now at that level is replicable in our level. You know what I mean? It's very difficult for me to say, oh, I'll take this guy because I believe he could do it at our level. You know.
So why did you go to Japan then? If Japan is completely different to college soccer?
Yeah, because Japan is like more connecting with the players, with the agency. Maybe they go to America first with a lower division, and then we follow them. We say, okay, keep developing, and maybe 1-2 years, your English is gonna get better. Everything you come to FIU. You know, okay. So it depends. Every trip has a different goal. But most of the trips are more like find immediate impact for our team.
So let's say that you need a striker. What are you looking for? What are you saying that's, yes, I'm going to sign this player?
Like for the striker, stats are important, like scoring goals, but also like does he do it at a high level? For example, like right now, we have some players that are doing really good, but at a level that we don't think it's exactly our level. So it's a little bit difficult to say, okay, it's like a bet. Who knows if this player can do it at our level? You know, so the best is obviously taking a guy from 4th division or 5th division in Europe, for example, that I really know those levels. It's very similar to our level, very physical, organized, men's leagues. Those guys that are doing good there, usually they also do good at our level.
How do you convince that type of player to come to FIU? Because if I'm playing in the 3rd, 4th, 5th division in one of these countries, I might, and the player that you're recruiting is probably between 18 to 22.
Yeah, correct.
How do you convince that player that going to university in America is better than pursuing a pro contract in Europe? Because you will probably reach out to or be speaking to 17, 18-year-old American players that want to do the opposite, and they would say no because they want to go to Europe and chase a contract, but you are able to bring a guy that's pursuing a pro contract in Europe to America. Yeah. So how do you convince a player, or how do you persuade them that, okay, coming to FIU?
First of all, it's very challenging, especially when you have like high level players that they are over there like very close to become a pro in their countries, to bring them here. But that's the type of players that makes a difference in our level, So it's just like showing the opportunity, like the school, the level, the fact that we can bring them to a pro environment in the US, So it's sometimes I go to the countries to watch some specific players, and I see another one that doesn't know anything about college soccer, right? And I try to talk to that guy because has the right age and the right level to play for us. And those guys are the most difficult to recruit. But sometimes, even if 1 out of 3 come, it's a very good result for us, and they usually do very good.
Interesting. So when you're going to other countries, what would you say is the country that opened your eyes the most? Because you're obviously Italian, so you know how the football is. Maybe you were going to a different country and you're like, wow, I didn't think it was going to be like that. Was there a game you watched, or a player you watched, or a moment where you were like, wow, that kind of changed my perspective on football?
Yeah, I would say Germany 5th division. I expect a lower level, but it's like top. It's top, as well as England. England is even from the 1st to the 7th division in England is top. Is so such a high level. In Italy, for example, after the 4th division, when you already go to the 5th, it drops a little bit the level. So the best guys from Italy comes from 4th division to FIU.
Do you see a difference in footballers between countries? For example, the football in England is very different to Germany, to Poland, to Japan. Like specifically, like Italian. Let's say you have a German player, an English player, and an Italian player. What would you say the difference between those 3 players?
England, like pace, physicality, direct, fast. and usually higher level, to be honest with you. And then Germany, I would say, it's more similar to Italian, but the lower division in Germany are, I think, better than the lower divisions in Italy right now.
When you say level, like describe, because I think everyone has a different definition of like what level means. So if I'm to ask Matteo, what does like a high level of soccer mean? Like when you go watch a game and you're like, okay, that's a good level. What are you seeing in that game?
Organization of the teams. Like the German teams are very organized. Everyone speak, leadership in the back, older players like 30 years old, captains, but it's very rare to find like a 7, 18 years old in those leagues. You know what I mean? Like these are players that have a lot of experience at a higher level, and they come down, but they're still motivated. Like there is money also, like they invest more. That's overall what I would say. And like you could see right away when you go watch these games, it's like the pace is good, the ball is clean, you know, everyone is organized in the back, players have qualities 1v1, players combine well with each other. So a lot of factors, you know, that make me say that. Was there a moment on your trip where you went to watch a player and he was nothing like he looked on the video? Yeah, it happens. Not nothing, but I expected more maybe, and it's a little bit less maybe like physically prepared, or like technically I was expecting something more or more impactful in the game. Sometimes they go a little bit missing, you know, they don't really impact the game in a certain way. So what research are you doing before going and watching a player? Because if I'm thinking, okay, FIU is investing in flight, hotel, coach, transportation, everything to go to Poland to watch one player, obviously you're going to do your research on that player first. So like, what research are you doing? I use a lot of Transfermarkt. Very simple. Transfermarkt has a lot of info for me. Like I know the level, I know how many games he played, I know what's their stats, I know if he has any national team caps. You know what I mean? Other than that, obviously many full games. Y Scout is huge for us, and talking with the player a lot. Before we go there, we already have like maybe 2-3 video call with the player and the agents as well. So a lot of information that we gather online, and when we go there is because we already know the player really well. We just want to have a confirmation that he is what we thought he is. So this brings me to my next point, which is if I'm a 16, 17, 18-year-old American player playing MLS Next, how on earth do I compete with that? You gotta be better than them. Soccer is very simple. You gotta be proving that you are better than these guys that we bring. And how do I do that? How as a high school soccer player playing youth soccer in America, how do I show Matteo that I'm ready to play at FIU? First of all, you have to play in the best teams. Like you cannot play in one of the worst high schools or one of the worst MLS Next. So you gotta be going to the best teams, win. So the team has like. You can see like the team is winning, and then personally you need to, like, if you are a striker, you need to have many goals. If you have midfielders, you need to be like a leader. You need to, you know. So and also for like in Florida, in South Florida, we have a lot of presence. Like we see a lot of MLS Next players, and we're gonna bring also for next year a lot of MLS Next players. It's just like when they come to FIU, it's like you need to prove that you're better than the others, you know? I think it's an interesting topic because I've been talking about this a lot recently. Like the level of Division 1 soccer is just insane. Like how good, especially the top schools, like the level of player that they're bringing. And then people will be complaining about how do I compete with this, but like, do you not want like a good level? Like, do you not want to be challenged? Do you not want, like, if it was the other way around, then it was easy to get recruited at Division 1. I think people would be complaining that we're not good enough. We're not trying to improve the game and things like this. So like, for me, like, sorry if I interrupt you, like we have a player, he's called Matteo Stickler. He's from Miami. He played for Athletum. He went 4 years to play in Italy, right? When he was 16. Now he's 20 years old. He came back. He's like a top player. Right? Why is he a good player? Because I think he had the quality, but then he challenged himself and he went, when he was very young, to a different country, learned some different football, grow up, play with older men. So I think the American players need to do more of that, you know? Like the American players need to see other environments, have like a little bit maybe harder life, you know, for 2-3 years where like, okay, I need to speak another language, I need to play another type of football, I need to play with guys that are 10 years older than me and they bully me a little bit, you know. But so those type of experiences are the ones that they make you like improve. If you stay every time in your team for 10 years, average level, maybe you're a good player, but you don't develop as Matteo Stickler that went 4 years in Italy, played 4th division with men. you know. And now he's a 4-year guy in college. He's one of our top guys.
So I think that is one of the biggest issues, is that like American youth soccer, and I've talked about this, is not preparing players for the next step. So the general pathway would be play in a high school or in an academy, then go to college, then try and get drafted. But I think that like the MLS Next season is 10 months, and the college season is 3 months. And MLS Next, there's no promotion relegation. If you lose, it doesn't really matter. You're playing like to go to MLS Next Fest or one of these tournaments. You're not playing against older people. Like you see all of these Europeans or people from all over the world, because they've been playing men's football at 16, 17 years old to get them ready for college soccer. Yeah. So when you're like, because I think FIU obviously does have a strong American presence. Like you have a lot of domestic players, and I think at the Division 1 level there are a lot of domestic players. I was reading like Washington, who won the national championship. All of the 11 guys are from Washington. So I think like, and you don't see them complaining that they can't play D1 soccer. Like they played D1 soccer. So like, when you're like, because I'm trying to think of people listening to this that are like playing MLS, CCNL, high school, like. If you want to, and you'll take kids from your camp, you'll take kids that you watch.
Absolutely.
How do I get found by not just FIU, but any D1 school? How do I get found? Like, how are you finding your players?
If you play like in the South Florida, we have also as FIU, we have a better advantage in terms like for the school, like they can get a little bit more funds, you know, scholarships, and they pay less. So Florida players for us are, you know, in-state tuition, which is an advantage, and that's for us obviously like something that we need to deal with. Like, you know what I mean? If you have a Florida player, we don't have unlimited budget. Like the top Florida guys are very interesting for us, you know. But then like obviously we know the best teams here: Inter Miami, Athletum, Western. All of these guys are under our radar, you know. So we know them. Like you just gotta be the best guy in your team, you know. Like, and eventually when you come to our camp and you prove that you are top, like we consider you. Like, you know what I mean? Like there is always open, but we have in mind the level of our guys, you know. Like we know what's our team level is. So your level needs to match our level, or possibly bring something more.
Yeah, it's not easy. If it was easy, like everyone would do it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But there is a lot of eyes on them. It's not that we don't look at them. You know what I mean? They are being seen. We see them. Maybe they don't know that, but we send our coaching staff goes to the games a lot. I go. Our associate coach went a lot recently to watch Inter Miami, to watch Weston. We know all of them. So you have to play in the best teams in Florida, for example, and you have to be top in those teams, and then you come to FIU.
I wanted to also talk about like mentality and mental health, because I know on the last pod we talked a lot about your injury and setbacks. Yes. What do you think are, and now you've had like a really successful full season, and you've been, I feel like, more involved this year in the FIU, so you have a better perspective now, maybe of the college soccer game from a coaching perspective. What are the biggest mental struggles during a college game or during a college season, the biggest mental struggles that players deal with?
It's a very good question. We have players that have like good qualities, but not like top, but they are very strong mentally. They perform better than players that have better qualities, but mentally they are not really at the level that we want. And when I mean the level mentally, I mean being able to keep constant performance like during time while you are performing like bad one game, good one game, bad one game. You need to be able to be in the zone. You know, you need to be able to kind of find your routine during the season, okay? To when you step on the field, in practice, in game, you are focused and you are in the zone. You know what I mean? So like one thing that I've been recently spoke a lot with my guys is, do you like have a routine every day? Do you do like the things that makes you like feel that when I come to the field on practice, I am 100%, you know, I'm focused. Like, because we have some guys that one day are top and one day are terrible in practice, you know? So I speak to them because I love them. I want them to be top. And I'm like, what do you do in your, like, at what time you go to sleep? You go to sleep every night at the same time before practice? Because we practice at the same time every morning. So you gotta wake up, go to sleep at the same time, get the same hours sleep, eat the same type of breakfast that helps your body. before the game, before the practice, you gotta do your stuff to be prepared to don't get injured and stuff. You need a routine, and I feel like a lot of guys don't have a routine. You need a routine a lot.
What did you learn this year from this fall about being a coach?
What did I learn? There is some games, and this when you play soccer, like when you're a soccer player, like you never realized it, but because you always see your coach as your role model or like your kind of father figure, but coaches feel the game a lot, so like you have a lot of pressure because you want to win, you have emotions like as a player, but you got to be able to manage those and like show the right ones, so this year I was we won a semi-final against Charlotte. It was a crazy game. We won after 12 PKs, and then we have a final against FAU, our rival. We score after 2 minutes, and then we lost 3-2. It was very like intense emotions, but so I learned that coaching staff, like one of the most challenging point for the coaches is, can you like show your team that you are still calm and focused,
how do you do this? Because it's something that I struggle with a lot. I let emotions get the better of me. Like a result doesn't go your way, or a player misses a pass or something, and like when you're a player you just think, okay, I'll fix it, but when you're a coach, like it could affect your job if you lose the game.
Absolutely.
How do you manage your emotions?
You gotta breathe, you gotta think before you speak. During the game, it's a lot of control, self-control, and this is like something that you learn during time. I don't think there is exercise and stuff, but it's more like time wise you learn.
You have to experience those.
You have to experience that, and you have to be in those situations many times to then say, okay, I already lived this before.
Because I feel like I know last time we spoke about like you're very like people coach, like you like have relationships with the players. You think it's very underrated, and one of your biggest strengths is building relationships with the players.
100%. Is
your perspective or what did you learn from this season about building relationships with your players?
That's the most important thing. It comes before tactics. It comes before everything. Physical preparation or tactical preparation is nothing if your players are not with you. So for me, it's like that's the first thing. Like you need to be your players to love you. How do you separate them respecting you and listening to what you say versus trying to become their friend? Yeah. And them like joking around with them too much that they might not respect you so much. Like how do you balance? It's a thin line, especially because I'm very young coach. Like I don't have 30 years of difference between me and the players that I coach. So that's always set the tone at the beginning of the season. Like I take the guys. My first season as a coach, I was coaching my former teammates. You know what I mean? So I had to speak to them and say, guys, I'm not anymore your teammate. Off the field, we can go eat a pizza, we can be together. On the field, I'm the coach, right? Stop. And they always I was able to have also intelligent people around me, intelligent players. And I felt like the professionality that I brought on the field, like the level I brought on the field, helped that as well. If they saw me like unprepared or like not really into it, they would say, we don't take him seriously. But they saw how much time I work onto that, how I prepare when I go on the field, what I bring to the table for them, so they respect me.
When you're recruiting, how do you understand a player's mindset and character? Because that's a big strength of yours, building relationships with the players. I'm assuming that when you're recruiting a player, a big part of the deal to get him over is building a relationship with him. Like when you're recruiting a player and you're watching him on a pitch and he's playing, what are you looking for, like for his mindset?
For his mind on the field or with when we talk?
Both.
Okay, when on the field, it's very body language. Like the game is like a gladiator. Like you see the body language. You don't see like the communication. Obviously, like how he communicate with the teammates, but it's not many words. It's more like how he is conducting himself on the field. Like the team is losing, he still like carry the team. The team is winning. He like keeps like positive energy, never like complain with the teammates or with the ref. I think that's very important on the field. So the body language mostly. Off the field, when we come, like when we have the video calls or when we meet in person, is more about like I want to hear what's their goals, because if they tell me, if I don't hear like the motivation of like I want soccer like as my priority, it's tough, because there is a risk that Miami, nice city, and I don't want the players to come here to enjoy Miami. I want the players to come here to win,
But but some would argue that for a professional team that makes sense. But you're a university, like you need to prioritize academics. So like, if a player says, if you go watch a player and he's amazing, 10 out of 10, but he says, yeah, I like soccer, but like I really want to be an engineer, will you still recruit him or?
It depends. It depends what's his level. It depends if I see his games and he wants to be an engineer, but he fights until 90 minutes. Okay, no problem. But if I see that his motivation like decrease in his games, like if I see he's like dropping the level because I think he's good, but he's not as motivated, that may be a red flag for me. But overall, like I was myself in the situation, like not a long time ago, and I was not able to become a first division or second division player in Serie A in Italy. So that's why I explore college. If not, I would stay in
so
Atalanta.
You know what to say. Yeah.
So I wanted to study. Like I know the players that I look for, like top players that they come to America, they are interested in academics. If not, they wouldn't come, right? But I was still hungry to win and to have the best time as a player as possible, and eventually explore the possibility in America as well.
So you mentioned earlier about being in the zone and players having a routine. Why is that your job? Why is that not the person at FIU doing the physio or the sports therapy or the psychologist or the nutritionist? Like why do players still not have a routine if you've got all of the resources that a big D1 program has?
Because it's a continued process. It never stops. And every year we try to get better as a staff. This year we brought a psychologist, mental psychologist that works with our team weekly. We didn't have that last year, our trainer is very good on that, but at the end the coaching staff is what oversee everything, right? So we are responsible for the team in general. So we are responsible for the mental performance side. We are responsible for we want to give the players all the tools, but at the end it's us that we decide, like the organization of the club.
How do you motivate players after a bad run of form? Because if you lose like 3 games in a row, or if you have a bad result, what are you doing to motivate the players?
Yeah, that's the hardest part. When you're losing, when you're losing 3 or 4 games, do you think for the coach is easy? It's so difficult, right?
Why? Why is it difficult?
Because,
what's going through your head?
Because it's the same. It's very similar to a player. Like it goes through your head the same thing. Like we are losing, we don't find solutions. Maybe we explore a lot of things and it didn't work. So at that point, it's like, again, analyze. Never stop analyzing why you're losing the game. What's going wrong? And again, I feel like a lot of times there is no reason to go to step 3, step 4, which is like tactical changes or stuff, if you don't have your team with you. A lot of times I feel you need to go back to the people, right? So like make sure, my captain, my teams are with me or not. Because sometimes it can happen then the coaches focus a lot of, maybe we need to change the right back with this right back. We need to play with 4 in the back rather than 3. But at the end, like, are the players with you? Like, are we on the same page?
How do you get the players to be with you?
Communicating constantly, like having meetings with them, talk to them, go take coffee with them, show them love, and not just show like that. Not just talk to them, but like show it.
They need to feel it.
You need to feel it. They need to, like, they're not playing. Maybe the day after you explain, like, okay, you don't play because you're not doing this right now. Honesty. Like, I feel honesty is everything. You can take a player out for 15 games straight if he's not doing good, but you need to talk to him why he's not playing, right? You need to be honest with him. Look, you need to get better here because this level that you do here, like in this part of the game, it's not helping us, so I cannot play you.
And how do you feel? How do you deal with the players that don't agree with you, that say, Matteo, that's not true. I do this. Because there will be times where you show video or you show them or you explain to them and they don't agree with you, or they still feel like they want to play. How do you deal with those players?
I think there is many guys that are a little bit delusional. They don't realize what their actual level is, and that's something I see very often. And at the end, I can make mistake too. I make an evaluation wrong, and you might be right, the player, but I decide. So that's, you need to take my decision as what it is. I explain you what I see. I explain you why you're not playing. You might think I'm wrong. Maybe I'm actually wrong, but at the end, like, there's nothing.
Now that you're reversed, because I thought the exact same thing when I was playing. I thought like I was right a lot of the time. Me and my teammates you and your teammates talk about the coach, about what you should have done, and at the end of the day, like, the coach is putting the players on the pitch that he trusts. So like, now that you are in the other role where you're the coach, like, what do you think the players misunderstand about like how the coach is making decisions that they should? Well, I'm trying to say, like, what are players like not thinking about that the coach is thinking?
The players struggle to understand that sometimes coaches need to take decisions that are the most effective at the moment, because there is not much time in the game. There is not much time in the season, right? There might be player that potentially is better than another one, but not in this moment, right? And on the other side, I remember when I was a player, and sometimes I disagree with the coach. I want my players to speak. I want the players after every week, every game, we speak with the players and we say, I want to know their opinion. They speak between them. It's fantastic. Then share with me. Okay, you see the game from a different perspective. I see it from the bench. You see it from inside. You feel something that I don't feel, probably, right? We are all together here.
And how what's your advice to give to a player to approach a coach? Because I might say, hey Matteo, I want to talk to you. Like, I can't believe we just did that in training. Or I might say, hey Matteo, by the way, training session today, I liked it, but we could have done, like, if I'm a player and I disagree with you, how should I approach you?
Yeah, just like, first of all, I think it's a lot into the coach, how open he is, because sometimes the coaches are very defensive. It's true that sometimes for a player it's very hard. I cannot go talk to the coach because he's gonna kill me, you know. He's not gonna take it in a good way. So first of all, the coaches, they should be open. Like I always mention Ancelotti. I feel if a player of Brazil goes talk to Ancelotti, he's gonna listen to him, you know. He's open to listen, and then the player, just with the right obviously using the right words, don't like say we should do this, we should do that, but hey coach, can we speak a little bit about the game? Because I want to express my feeling from the pitch, you know. And you say like, I think in this situation the team goes down in that way, you know. You explain in a respectful way, but you bring your opinion. I think it's so valuable, valuable.
And for like a player listening to this, that's like, because there's a lot of players that think their coach hates them, and they need to be liked by the coach. And my biggest piece of advice to every player is be likable, be liked by your coach. If your coach likes you, he's going to put you on the pitch. If you're the best player, if you're the worst player, if the coach likes you, he's going to put you on the pitch. What would make you trust a player? What makes you like a player?
If he applies what the coaches ask. Sometimes players, they want to do their own things, their own football. I understand they have their own qualities. Some players is more technical on the ball. Some players better defensively. You got to play your strengths, but you got to use your strengths applied to what the coach asks. I was playing the national team. I played 2 years straight as a center mid next to Locatelli every game. I was the only player in the second division in the national team. Why I was playing every game? Because at 15, 16, I was doing exactly what the coach was asking me to do. And I was like just working hard and doing exactly what the coach was, and he was preferring me to other players that maybe they were even better than me, right? But at that moment, I was the one that was applying what he was asking, the best.
But what does that mean? Because I might be thinking, the coach, I'm a midfielder, and the coach told me just to pass it, just to be aggressive. But like, how do you get it out of the coach what he exactly? Because there's a lot of players. I get this a lot. That I'll say to a player, "Have you asked your coach what you need to do?" Yeah, he told me to watch film. But like, how do you find out what the coach wants from you?
Passes, be aggressive, watch film are not good information. These are not specific information. So the coach is not giving you like a real specific piece of information that you can apply.
So what advice do you give to the player? Be
aggressive, it wins nothing.
So what advice do you give to the player if the coach tells him that?
Can you tell me more about how can I be more aggressive in what situation? Like how can I be more aggressive specifically? Can you explain in real examples in the game? What should I do better? You need to be like, as a coach, if you say, oh, just be better, pass better, that's a lower level coaching, you know? So as a coach, we show the video and we say, look, in this specific situation, you're not doing this stuff well, right? You need to be in this position. You need to realize where are your teammates? Your position is not good. You're not checking you know what I mean? Like there is specific piece of information that the coach needs to give to the players to help them. And you need to do, as a player, you need to do that.
What do players think that coaches care about that coaches don't care about?
One thing that I see as a coach now more is like how the guys are doing off the field, or when the practice is over, are they likable? Like they enjoy the teammates, they're funny, like they're living like our environment is FIU, obviously, like they enjoy FIU, or just go home and they do their, they stay in their bed, we like the players that they like where they are at, so we as a player, even like how you build your relationship with the teammates, how you act after the practice, if you can stop like joke with the coach, you can stop staying like a little bit longer,
What makes you trust the player?
What makes me trust the player? Again, if consistently he can apply what we ask. Very simple.
What do you ask of your players?
Depending what the position is. Center backs, we wanna build from the back, so they need to be able to receive, not be scared. Circle the ball right to left, and then obviously being physical, being like good in man marking, right positioning, right. Center mids, they need to ask for the ball. They need to, in certain situation, lead the line in front for the press, So, and we can go in every detail, but for every position there is a requirement,
What would you say is the recipe for a good college soccer player? Because my general answer would be physical, fast, aggressive, good in tight spaces, technical. What do you think would make you, as a Division 1 coach, look at a player and be like, that's going to be a really good college soccer player? What's that player like? What's the mold?
Again, as you said, like, it's a very physical game. So if you're like struggling a lot in that part, it's going to be hard for you. That's the reality. But you need to bring something special, There is some players that are really good, like dribbling. And I think if they have that, they can even be a little bit smaller or less, but they have a special thing, So like I want to see some special things in your
I think that's the biggest thing. Like when players are asking me like, what's coach looking for? I don't think coaches are looking, like I say, what are you looking for when you're playing with your friends? Like if a player, like a lot of times players will send me a highlight video. I actually had this with a player. So a player told me I want to play at FIU, a central midfield player, and I sent Matthias his highlight video. I found it on YouTube, and I said, "This is what an FIU player." And then he was like, "Oh shit, okay, like, I'm not at that level, So, but I think like and I say to a player all the time, like if you are put yourself in the coach's position, what are you looking for? Where if you're building a team of 11 players or 6 players to go play a 6-a-side, 11-a-side Sunday league tournament, what's going to make you pick a striker? Oh, like if he had a highlight video that had a lot of goals. What does your highlight video look like? It's okay. Like, okay. So you're not at the level to play Division 1 yet. So I think like a lot of players don't really understand like what they're...
Yeah, I agree. There is a lot of players that they want to be... But the best thing is like, come watch us. Come watch our games.
I think this is good advice.
Yeah, come watch our games. And then you understand what's the requirements. Very simple. How we win the games. Which are the guys that are playing? Which are the guys that are on the bench? Like who makes the difference at their level?
When you have a camp, when you have an ID camp, like the FIU ID camp, what do you dislike about players? Like what players are you like, why are you even here? What are you doing? A
lot of them, they have no resistance. Like we have a 2 hours camp, 3 hours. After 40 minutes, they are destroyed, like a lot of them. So how can I take you seriously if you don't have the physical preparation, which is just like training? Literally, you can go running every day and you can build that. You know what I mean? So it means like you're not serious about that.
I remember you said on the last episode, you were like, I was like, what's your biggest piece of advice to go to an ID camp? And you were like, technically in a week, in a month, you're not going to get better, but you just need to be fit.
Exactly. Fitness is the first thing. Even right now with our staff, we're trying to bring new fitness tests, because we want our guys in the summer to work hard physically. The fitness must be like on top. So we're bringing new tests, multiple tests at the beginning of the fall, because we want them like, hey, look, this summer you gotta do this, this, and this, because you're gonna be tested. If you're not at that level, you're not gonna be playing.
How many emails did you get last week?
In a week, it can be 100.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do the emails usually say?
It said the top MLS next or like AC, whatever player, but I usually take a look at like those emails that I see like the level where he's playing right now, and like the age a lot, and what's your resume is as a first impression,
What advice would you give to an American player on how to play Division 1?
Say it again, sorry?
What advice would you give to an American player, someone that's playing in high school, in ECNL, in MLS Next? Matteo, I really want to play at the Division 1 level.
The same things. Try to bring something special on the field. Try to be the best player in your team. And then when you're the best player in your team, you got to go to a better team. So it's just like raise the level, raise the team where you play at. The best teams in America, we take Division 1 take a look at you. I promise you. They will take a look at you if you play in the best teams in ECNL or MLS Next.
Do you think that American players should have an agent to go and play college soccer?
It helps. It helps.
Why?
Because the agents have the contacts of the coaches, and the coaches trust some specific agents. So when I have an agent that I trust, because in the past he gave me a good player, I will more likely take a look at that guy rather than just a random email, from the player. As I said to you before, like sometimes we recruit the players from their emails. It's not just impossible, but there's just more chances with an agent, to be honest.
If I'm a player, because you used an agent to come from Italy. If I'm a player looking to hire an agent to get me to play college soccer, what are some green flags? What should I look for?
Look where he plays the previous players. And again, don't be delusional. If you see like a top 22 years old going to Marshall and you are 17 coming from ECNL, don't think you're going to Marshall. But like check what work the agency did before you. And even for the players in ECNL, where did he place the ECNL players before? Do I like these teams? I think it's a good start for me. Okay, I go with this agency.
What's the difference between being This is interesting actually, because what's the difference in being delusional? I don't know what the opposite of delusional is, but I've spoken on the podcast recently
Realistic,
about you need to be delusional, because I mean, if I was when I finished playing at 21, 22, to say that I set up Select Generation and brought however many kids to college and internationally, set up football clubs around the world, I would be like, no, that's delusional. You're not talking right. Like maybe for you, when you were a kid playing for Atalanta, you would be like, maybe it's not realistic. Coming to FIU, being a coach in your second year. So what's the difference between being realistic and delusional?
I agree, and I think you need to dream big. I'm not saying like you don't have to have higher goals, but you have to like have a reality check every day, like what position I am right now, and what's the next step for tomorrow, and then what's the final goal, right? Because you might think, okay, I want to play for FIU. I'm not saying that cannot be your goal. So it can be your goal, but right now, what you can do right now to go to play FIU one day. Is he going to JUCO? Is he going to D2? Yes, probably it is, right? Players come to me and say, I'm ready for FIU right now. 17 years old, I played 5 games in ECNL. It's impossible, So I would say dream big, like don't be scared of big goals, higher objective in your life, but also take a look at your mirror and say, okay, right now I'm in this situation, and the next step to get to the big goal is this one.
How do you see college soccer evolving?
There is a lot of changes every year, and I think it's good because there is a lot of interest, like you're dead when there is no more interest. There is a lot of people looking, there is a lot of people interested in coming playing, there is a lot of agents recruiting from us, so there might be changes in the schedule. It might be a fall and spring season, it might be not. I honestly like it how it is right now, to be honest with you, but there might be many changes,
What's a hard truth that young players need to hear about making it?
That you're gonna fall many times. You're gonna fall many times. You're gonna have some terrible times before making it, and you're not prepared for that, because you always want things to go well and smooth. But the reality is, it's impossible. Like, it's very hard that you're gonna make it without injuries, without time where your coach doesn't see you, without time where you have to transfer to another team. But most of the histories of players that made it is they have that. They have so many of injuries, like times where it was not good in the team, they had to change, the coaching staff didn't see him, this stuff,
What's a topic about college soccer that you're really passionate about, like an opinion that you have about the game of college soccer that you're really passionate about?
Something specific about college soccer, like I would say the possibility of, I like the fact that we can have a lot of changes during the game. I personally like it because we can play more players, so the players are more involved in the game, right?
I've got a good question actually.
Yeah.
I did. I posted a video yesterday which was about like college soccer is not to develop players. College soccer is to win matches. And I got a lot of stuff in the comments.
Yeah.
Do you feel like college soccer develops players?
I watched that video and I agree with you. I think college soccer is to win games. There is a part of development, because to win games, you're gonna develop. You're gonna develop something. You're gonna develop savviness. You're gonna develop physicality. You're gonna develop fitness. You're gonna develop your speed of the game.
Yeah.
So you're gonna develop. But it's to win. The end goal is to win games, which should be something different, in my opinion, in the academies. In the academies, and that's a problem that we have in Italy, in my opinion. 13 years old coaches, they want to win. They want to win the league. Come on, man, that's not the point. The point is how much that kid that you took at August, how better he is in May at the end of the season. You know what I mean? That's the goal of these coaches. That should be the goal of these coaches, not winning. Winning is not the point at 13, 12, 14 years old, 15.
Because I think like for a lot of like the American players here, they're so focused on like getting to college and like I'm going to go to college because I'm going to use it as a stepping stone to being a pro. But like college soccer coaches don't have 4 years to develop you. You need players that are ready to win football matches. He might even be with us as a grad student for a year. It might be with us as a transfer student for 2 years, and this guy needs to be ready to win matches. So like how, I mean, this is kind of an open-ended question, but like how do we fix in America, because you've obviously been involved in like American youth soccer, like how do we fix, can we fix the system? What's your, how do you think the US needs to fix like the youth soccer pyramid to get guys more ready to play Division 1 soccer?
There should be a league, like for example in Italy there is a U19 level, right? It's called Primavera. It's like the AC Milan, Juventus, all the top clubs have the U19, right? And then they have the first team, okay?
So it's like a bridge.
There is a huge gap, right? And then there is the fourth division, all right? The fifth division. There is players when they are 16, instead of doing the U17 and the U19 in Europe, they go directly playing the fourth division. Those players, they develop more and better than those players that they do like the U18, the U19, right? So there should be, in my opinion, more like experience for these guys, 18, 17 years old, to play with men. In a league,
UPSL.
UPSL. I think UPSL should be should be used to send these guys a lot to develop. I see, like I bet like top guys in U19 they struggle in the UPSL.
Why? Because I play MLS Next.
Yeah.
I play for a top MLS Next team, and I'm thinking about UPSL, and UPSL teams are horrible. Like they're just like men, old, fat.
Yeah, I think probably the UPSL needs to be better level. I agree. Sometimes I saw the UPSL and the U19, like they don't have that gap that they need to say, okay, damn, I still need to do some stuff here before getting to this level, right? So if you have a better UPSL, all right, where maybe there is more money for older players that they come retire at 30 years old, right? 32 years old, where you can pay them properly, right? And maybe there is a promotion and relegation where they need to win. All right, then like it's very helpful to send the young players there, right? Because as of right now, I feel like UPSL is not at the level it should be, and there is no like that desire to win, like to don't get relegated don't win the league.
Why do I need to play men's football? What's men's football going to teach me?
Men's football is going to teach you savviness. It's going to teach you physicality. It's going to teach you to read the game faster. There's going to be you feel it in the game. There's going to be older guys that they move slower than you, that they know the game better. They know the tempo better. They touch you in a certain way. You lose your balance and they score on you. And only by failing you get better.
What's your biggest motivation as a coach? What do you love about being a football coach?
What do I love is the people. Again, like being every day around the guys that we build something special together. And you keep these guys forever in your heart. Like really, you will never forget like the players that you had in the past. And especially when you win, but even when you lose, it's the relationship with the people, with the colleagues, so the staff, and also with the players.
What was your biggest challenge this fall? What was the moment where you really struggled?
I mean, there was two moments. One, when we had a couple of bad losses, and we had to we lost 5-1 at Seton Hall, and it was tough. We couldn't win at home with lower Division 1, and we were like, usually with these games we always win, and then you need to switch, right? So those moments where you were low and you need to change something, those are the most difficult. And the second one, obviously, when then we switched that and we did really well at the end of the season, and we arrived to the final of the conference and we lost the final. That's obviously a sad end, but we still positive season because you were able to arrive to a final.
Who was the hardest team that you faced in the fall? Who was the team that was the best that you played against?
NC State.
Why?
They arrived to the final and they were the best.
I played for Hubbard. I played for Hubbard in New Hampshire. Yeah. Why were NC State so good?
I think he's a top coach. I respect him a lot. We played against him in New Hampshire. He play also with always with the 4-4-2 diamond. The players know exactly what to do.
It's like a machine.
It's like a machine. They work like they don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this team is the first 5 minutes, the first 10 minutes, they played very direct on us, and we didn't expect that. And then like when we say, okay, they're gonna be direct and physical. Okay, now let's like stay a little bit more compact in the mid block. Then they start playing and switching right to left. And they say, okay, like we cannot like. For 90 minutes, we were suffering because they had multiple style of playing. It's easy for me to face a team that has only one style. Okay, there is teams that overplay and they will die with their like building from the back, you know. And we're very good in pressing usually. So we press very high, and we win the ball high and we score. We won so many games like that with teams that probably were even better than us, but they didn't have a plan B, right? Teams that are top, they have plan B and plan C sometimes. Set pieces, they had like 7 set pieces, and the players knew exactly what to do for like 5, 6 set pieces. I was like, how the hell do you know like
how much video analysis do you do at FIU?
A lot, but this guy is changed every game, you know. Like every 2 games he gives something new in terms of especially set pieces. And even if you do a lot of videos on on how they move the ball, like at the end, like you gotta do it, you gotta apply it. And if they're better than you, soccer is like the field is always the same, the ball is always the same, you know. So it's like if there is a better team, you gotta face the better team.
What are you most looking forward to about next fall?
I'm looking to get better as a team on the ball, in possession. Last year we had like strong guys, physical. Sometimes we rely on direct balls. It paid off many times. We scored many set pieces. But this year I want more confidence on the ball. I want the guys to feel more calm when they have the ball on their feet. Our center backs, they don't need to worry about, okay, I don't have options, because I want always people to move to ask for the ball. So I want, and we also recruit with that goal in mind. Also, when we go recruiting, you need to think how I want to play, right? You cannot recruit a player that doesn't fit your style. So we definitely brought players that are gonna be very useful for this type of soccer.
What happens if you go recruiting to all these trips and you don't find any players? Is there ever any point where you're like, I don't find anyone that I like?
Yeah, no, there is. Look,
do you get stressed or?
No, because it's better to don't take a wrong guy than take it. Like maybe I express myself worse, but bad. But it's like you don't have to force a decision. When I go to certain countries and I go maybe to, I don't know, Switzerland to watch that specific guy. Only one guy. Just to make sure. And the guys know what I expect. I call my staff. I say, guys, it doesn't matter if we spend $2,000 coming here. It's not ready. Okay? It's better to... because obviously every player has a big investment, but bigger than $2,000.
But do you ever feel like you might run out of players? Do you ever feel like, oof, like can't find a left-footed centre-back? Get so many texts, left-footed centre-back.
Some... At the level that we need, of course, because as I said, like we have 100 emails per week. Yeah. But the level that we need, sometimes it's difficult to find. We've been in that situation where it's May and we don't have a left back, right?
So you have to take someone.
So you have to see what's the best option, right? Available, or you need to adapt a player, but that's not always that's not the best thing to do, you know.
Matteo, just to finish up, I love speaking to you, man. You're so good at this podcast. I love it.
Thank you. I love you too.
What is your... two things. The first thing is specifically about recruiting for a player. If you're not getting the attention, if you're struggling, if you don't know where to start, if you're like, I want to play college soccer, but I don't know how it works. Like, what's your biggest piece of advice how to play college soccer?
To try to work on your craft, work on yourself, to then compete at your level. Be the best player at your level, step the level, change team, go in a better team. Work to become the better player in that team and raise the level. And then at some point, if you are at the top level in the best divisions, which is ECNL, MLS next, you're gonna have chances to go and obviously build your highlight and all the stuff that we already spoke about.
And secondly, if you had to go back to yourself when you were 18 years old and give yourself some advice and say, look, this is what's going to happen, but you need to do this, what advice would you give to yourself?
So my story is a little, obviously, I was at the top level. I was very, very hard on myself. I know some guys are very like strict on themselves, so I would say, even if obviously this is your goal, you need to work hard to do that. You need to take care of your body, go to sleep, eat healthy. But also, like, don't forget the enjoyment of playing football, because I forgot about it. Like when I was 17, I was playing as I was going to my office work. You know what I mean? Don't forget that you're playing football. Don't forget the passion. Don't forget that's what brings you the energy at the end to do the next step. You know? So work hard, be serious, but don't like always love the game. Oh, like if there is a moment that you see I'm not very much passionate about, restart. Okay, take a moment, breathe, and think about why you started playing soccer when you were a kid.
What's your definition of success in life?
Do what you love to do, be happy, have people around you that love you and you love them. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Philosopher Matteo. We'll tag Matteo's Instagram. If there's anything you learned or picked up, shoot him a message. Maybe not an email. He gets too many of those emails. But now, Matteo, thank you so much, man. We're going to have to do episode 3.
Fantastic. I'm down.
Perfect, man.